Hello there, and welcome. Have you ever found yourself standing in the middle of a room, wondering what on earth you walked in there for? Or perhaps you bumped into someone you know quite well, and their name just completely vanishes from your mind for a moment? It happens, doesn't it? That little flicker of panic, maybe a chuckle, followed by the thought, is this normal? Or is it something more? It's a question many of us start to ponder as we get a bit older. We hear so much about memory loss and dementia these days, and it's natural to feel a bit anxious when our own minds play tricks on us. But here's the important thing to understand: not every memory slip is a sign of a serious problem. Our brains, like the rest of our bodies, change as we age. Some changes are perfectly normal, just part of the natural journey. However, sometimes, the changes can be more significant, starting to interfere with our daily lives, our ability to manage tasks, or even our interactions with loved ones. These could be early signs of conditions like dementia, and recognizing them early is truly crucial. Why? Because early detection opens the door to understanding, support, and treatments that can make a real difference in managing the condition and maintaining quality of life. So, in this video, we're going to gently untangle this complex subject together. We'll explore what typical, age-related forgetfulness looks like, and then we'll discuss the kinds of changes that might signal something more serious, like dementia, is developing. We'll talk about the key differences to look out for, helping you gain clarity and hopefully easing some worry. And importantly, we'll touch upon what steps you can take if you do have concerns. Let's start by talking about what's generally considered a normal part of aging. It's quite common, for instance, to occasionally forget names or appointments, but then remember them later on. You might misplace things from time to time. Those pesky keys or your reading glasses seem to develop legs of their own, don't they? But usually, you can retrace your steps and find them. Another common experience is finding that it takes a bit longer to learn new things, or that your thinking speed isn't quite what it used to be. You might need things repeated, or find yourself searching for the right word occasionally. These kinds of lapses can be annoying, certainly, but they typically don't disrupt your ability to live independently, work, or enjoy your social life. They are often minor inconveniences rather than major roadblocks. Think of it like your brain's filing system just being a little slower or more cluttered than it once was, but the important files are still there, even if it takes a moment longer to retrieve them. Now, while those occasional memory hiccups we just discussed are quite standard, let's gently shift our focus to changes that might signal something different is happening. It's important to remember that the line isn't always crystal clear, but the key often lies in the frequency and impact of these changes on daily life. When forgetfulness or confusion starts to consistently interfere with your day-to-day activities, that's when it warrants closer attention. One of the most talked about signs is significant memory loss, particularly concerning recent events or information. This goes beyond occasionally forgetting where you put your glasses. We're talking about forgetting conversations you had just yesterday, not recalling significant recent events, or repeatedly asking for the same information. Perhaps someone finds themselves unable to remember what they had for breakfast just an hour ago, or they might forget the name of a grandchild they see often. Unlike normal age-related forgetfulness where the information often comes back later, with this type of memory loss, the information might feel completely gone. It's a more pervasive difficulty in retaining new information. Another area to be mindful of is increasing difficulty with planning or solving problems. We all make mistakes now and then when balancing a checkbook or following a recipe. But a potential sign of something more could be a newfound struggle with developing and following a plan, or working with numbers in a way that was previously comfortable. This could look like having trouble managing monthly bills, difficulty following a familiar recipe with multiple steps, or struggling to concentrate on tasks that require logical thought, tasks that used to be straightforward. It's not just about needing a bit more time, it's about finding the process itself fundamentally challenging in a new way. Similarly, finding it hard to complete familiar tasks can be a warning sign. Think about activities you've done countless times throughout your life: driving to a familiar location, playing the rules of a favorite card game, operating the washing machine, or managing a budget. If suddenly these routine tasks become confusing or difficult to finish without help, it's worth noting. This isn't about struggling with a new piece of technology. We all need help with that sometimes. It's about finding those well-worn paths in our daily routines subtly feeling unfamiliar or overwhelming. These aren't just isolated incidents but a pattern of increasing difficulty with things that were once second nature. Another significant area where changes might become apparent is experiencing confusion with time or place. Forgetting the day of the week but figuring it out later is one thing. But a person showing early signs of dementia might lose track of dates, seasons, and the passage of time more fundamentally. They might find themselves unsure of where they are or how they got there, even in familiar surroundings. Imagine feeling disoriented in your own neighborhood, or not understanding why it's daytime when it feels like it should be night. This kind of confusion can be quite unsettling and goes beyond the simple forgetfulness of, say, needing to check a calendar for the date. Trouble with words, both in speaking and writing, can also emerge. We all have those moments where a word is right on the tip of our tongue. But a potential sign of dementia involves more persistent challenges. This could mean having difficulty following or joining a conversation, perhaps stopping mid-sentence and having no idea how to continue, or repeating themselves frequently. They might struggle with vocabulary, calling things by the wrong name, like calling a watch a hand clock, or using unusual word substitutions that make their speech or writing hard to understand. It's a noticeable change in their ability to communicate effectively. Decreased or poor judgment is another area to be aware of. This might manifest in various ways. For instance, someone might start making questionable decisions with money, perhaps giving away large sums inappropriately or falling victim to scams more easily than before. They might also show poor judgment in personal care, paying less attention to grooming or hygiene. It could also involve making decisions that seem out of character or lack the usual consideration of consequences. It's a shift in their usual decision-making process that impacts their well-being or safety. You might also notice a withdrawal from work or social activities. A person experiencing these cognitive challenges may start to remove themselves from hobbies, social gatherings, or family events they once enjoyed. This isn't necessarily about wanting to be alone, but often stems from the difficulty they experience in keeping up with conversations, following instructions for a game or activity, or simply feeling overwhelmed or embarrassed by their struggles. They might become more passive, requiring prompting to get involved. Finally, changes in mood and personality can be quite prominent. Someone who was typically easygoing might become easily upset, confused, suspicious, depressed, fearful, or anxious. They might get irritable when their routine is disrupted or feel agitated in situations where they feel unsure. These shifts can be subtle at first but may become more pronounced over time, leading to behavior that seems quite different from their usual selves. These aren't just occasional bad moods, but more fundamental changes in their emotional responses and overall personality. So, when we look at all these potential signs, the significant memory loss, trouble with familiar tasks, confusion about time or place, language difficulties, poor judgment, withdrawal, and those shifts in mood or personality, what really sets them apart from normal aging? The most crucial difference, the one to really hold on to, is the impact these changes have on a person's ability to function independently in their daily life. Those normal age-related memory lapses, like forgetting a name temporarily or misplacing keys, are typically minor annoyances. They don't usually prevent you from working, managing your home, maintaining relationships, or enjoying your hobbies. However, the signs associated with potential dementia are different because they do significantly interfere. They create persistent challenges that disrupt daily routines, compromise safety, affect work performance, if applicable, and constrain social connections. It's the difference between needing reading glasses to see the menu and being unable to understand what a menu is for. It's the difference between needing a reminder for an appointment and forgetting how to get to the doctor's office she visited for years. This interference in daily functioning is the key distinction that suggests something more than typical aging might be occurring. Now, hearing all this might feel a bit overwhelming, and that's completely understandable. But the purpose isn't to cause alarm, it's to empower you with knowledge. If you recognize several of these more significant signs in yourself or a loved one, consistently, and notice they are impacting daily life, the most important step is not to panic or jump to conclusions, but to seek professional advice. Please, talk to your doctor. They can conduct a thorough evaluation, which might include cognitive tests, a physical exam, and possibly other assessments to understand what might be causing the changes. There are many other conditions that can cause memory problems or confusion, things like thyroid issues, vitamin deficiencies, medication side effects, or even stress and depression, so a proper diagnosis is absolutely essential. Don't try to diagnose yourself or rely solely on information online. A healthcare professional is your best resource. Early diagnosis, whatever the cause, allows for appropriate management, support, and planning for the future. Remember, understanding the difference between normal aging and potential dementia signs is the first step towards taking positive action. It helps reduce unnecessary worry over minor memory slips while ensuring that more significant changes get the attention they deserve. Small changes in awareness can lead to big differences in health outcomes and overall well-being. You are not alone in navigating these questions, and support is available. Keep observing, stay informed, and most importantly, reach out for help if you have concerns. We hope this discussion has been helpful and perhaps shed some light on this important topic. What are your thoughts or experiences with this? We'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Sharing can often help others feel less alone. If you found this video valuable, please give it a thumbs up, and consider subscribing to our channel for more content designed to help you live your healthiest and happiest life after 60. Thank you so much for watching today. Here's to clarity, understanding, and taking proactive steps for our well-being at every age.